What do the Israelis have to do with dates? A date tree takes a long time to grow. Those date trees take a long time to grow. So you didn't plant those trees. Even if the dates are coming from Israel, so-called Israel, those trees were planted by Palestinians. That's Palestinian land planted by Palestinians who you drove out, and now you're selling their dates to the world. You know, and trying to trick people into thinking that they're from Palestinians. When you stole them from Palestinians and then selling them to the world, and the only way that anyone will buy them from you is if you tell them it's from Palestinians. You know? Because we know why you have them in the first place, and you have to deny why you have them and why you're selling them to the world, because you stole them and you drove the people out of their land. Everyone knows that those dates aren't from you. You didn't. When's the last time an Israeli planted a date tree? I mean, come on. They don't even do agriculture anywhere in the world. Where do they do agriculture? Uh, they don't even dig the diamonds. You know, they're in the diamond business. When's the last time they were in a diamond mine? The Palestinians in so-called what's now Israel, they planted those trees. You drove them out. You kept the trees, and then when you drove them out, they went to Gaza or they went to the West Bank and they planted more trees, and you burned those down. You won't let them have trees, but no one wants to buy from you. So you still have to tell people that those dates are from the Palestinians, because the fact is they're from Palestinians. Everyone knows that you don't bring anything out of the earth. But I mean, what do you think is going to happen? This is the thing that gets me: is what do you think is going to happen? Uh, what do you think is going to happen in the future to you because of what you're doing now? As Jews, you have enough experience in the world, and enough should have enough knowledge of your own history to know how the pendulum swings in history, and that justice is achieved over the course of time, over the course of, even if it's centuries, if it's decades, if it's centuries, if it's millennia, justice is achieved. There's not only justice in the akhirah, there's justice in the dunya, but it's across time. And you have experienced that, and you've witnessed that. So you know perfectly well that what you're doing to the Palestinians is going to be visited upon your children or your children's children or your great grandchildren and so on. So whatever you're doing against the Palestinians now, you're actually doing against your own progeny. You're doing against your own successors in your bloodline. Because that's how justice actually works in the world, and you know that. So what do you think is going to happen when you're doing like what just like with the dates, what you've done? What do you think is going to happen? And what are you going to be able to say when it's done to you in the future? What's your excuse going to be? What's your rationale going to be? What's your justification? Why will anyone sympathize with you and your children and your great grandchildren and whoever, your progeny in the future? Who will sympathize with you when we know your history, when we know what your great grandparents did to the Palestinians or your whatever, your prior generations? And we know this is what goes around comes around. You know that. You know that better than anyone, that what goes around comes around. But you don't want to have come around what you're sending out. You don't want it to come back to you, but you know it will. But it means you don't care about your own children. You don't care about your own future generations. When you're committing this kind of injustice against people in the world, that means you're a traitor to your own future generations. You're a traitor to your own children and children's children. And look how stupid you are. Really, how stupid you are. You're putting all of your trust in yours for your safety and security in the hands of people on the basis of knowing that they are only supporting you because they want to destroy you. How stupid is that? I mean, really, what happened with the mythological Jewish intelligence? That you're making this deal with the devil. You know, for you, it's the deal with the devil. Deal with what you regard as and not unjustly regard as mushrikeen, the evangelical Christians. You're not even allowed to pray in their church. You're not even allowed to enter their church. But you're seeking safety and protection and support from them based on their desire to have you decimated, to bring back what you regard as a false messiah who will kill all of you. That's the basis for your relationship. You know?
Dysfunction.
Like, how do you think that that's going to go? How does that